Well, Saints fans, I think you just put that down to poor team selection, to be honest. 3-0, let's get into it. Right, where do we begin? It was a shocking first half. Really bad first half. I don't know what's happened to Saints. I think we've gone from being a poor second half team and being decent in the first half to the polar opposite. Now we're awful in the first half and average in the second half. So it worked out one problem, but now we've got another to fix. I don't know if it's we're conserving energy for the second half and we're not working as hard, but I genuinely don't know what it is. That's not the same team that, I mean, it is the same team that won at Burnley, but mentally it's not the same team, if you know what I mean. Right, so West Brom are putting us under the cosh for half an hour, 45 minutes. The whole first half, pretty much, straight. I mean, we had a few chances. I think that's why I'd probably say it was about 35 minutes of just nothing but West Brom. Yeah, and they score basically 3 goals. There was a VAR blunder, basically like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Kieran Gibbs, or Ryan Bertrand and Manolo Gabbiadini. Whichever way you want to look at it, they basically thought the player that scored was offside when he wasn't. It was the other guy that was offside. Absolute blunder. Should have been 1-0 West Brom there and then. But instead, you know, we got let off with a VAR disallowed goal. We got massive let off. That should have been a warning flag, and Ward-Prowse should have said something on the pitch. Should have said, look, lads, we've been let off here. Let's really put a foot down. But nothing happened. West Brom were allowed to just continuously get at us and, you know, have strikes at goal. And they did. They scored 2 goals within 3 to 5 minutes, which is unbelievable. We've gone from having one of the best defences in the Premier League to having virtually no defence whatsoever. I mean, this looks great going into the summer transfer window. Should we just keep our head down and keep getting shocking results here, there and everywhere, but manage to stay up, we might be able to keep some of our best players in the summer and actually do some proper improvements and have a decent season next season. I think that's what the board are looking to do. Just genuinely, let's just keep the head down and let's just move on to next season. Let's just forget about this one. That just looks like it. Just trug along, accept everything as it comes, and just, you know, we're basically there now. Imagine if we were in Newcastle's position, would we be seeing better results? Who knows? Okay, so West Brom scored 2 really easy goals against us, both defensive blunders. I don't know where to stand on it really. Bednarak, Vestergaard, who's at fault for not reacting? Who's at fault for not being on their toes? It's just awful. It's just crap defending. That's all it is. You just need to sort it out. Bertrand, I don't really see much of anymore. You know, I think the only decent, comprehensible defender and that whole back line is Cole Peters. I don't even think Forster's up to the task, but we'll get onto that when we get to the player ratings. First half ends, should be 3-0, but it's not, it's 2-0. Sam Johnson had a really good game. Credit to Sam Johnson and the West Brom defence. So the second half starts and we pick it up a little bit. We're having more and more opportunities, but none of them seem to pay off. Walcott looked a shadow of himself. Gets sucker punched by Callum Robinson. I think that was about the 70th minute, and now we're 3-0 down, 20 minutes to go. Ralph doesn't make any changes until 15 minutes to go. I think we should have made changes at half time, to be quite honest. You've got to change something because something's clearly not working. Do you know what I mean? It's not the same team. I would have taken off Walcott and brought on Gineppo. I would have started Che Adams. You've got to shake it up a little bit, you know, otherwise we become too predictable. As good as Walcott is, you know, our best player is Armstrong and Redmond's in form. These 2 players have to be starting. You have to play those guys. Kyle Walker-Peters has to play. Salisu's a good player. Maybe drop one of the defenders out, let them know. So it's 3-0. We don't really have any chances. We had a penalty right at the end, and it was a very good penalty, to be fair to JWP. You know, he absolutely walleyed that to the keeper's right, and Sam Johnson guessed the right way, and it just summed up our night. Massive 3 points for West Brom. All credit to them. It should have been a winnable game for us, but I'm glad we got the 3 points at Burnley, and now we've got a semi-final to look forward to. Not the best preparation for that. I mean, I'd say the only thing to come out of this game would be the fact that Leicester lost to West Ham. Obviously, West Ham, a formidable opponent for those guys, but now we go up against them. Both teams lost their last Premier League game. So, you know, it would be an interesting contest to see where the mindset of those players are at. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a better step up in performance. Maybe the players had their minds on that FA Cup semi-final rather than Monday night's game, but hey ho, we move on. So let's move on to the player ratings. So Fraser Forster, you look at the goals that he conceded, the penalty straight down the middle. I mean, all the goals were pretty much average. There were no goalkeeper blunders in there. I mean, the second one was a good goal, good chance taken. created by Danny Ings. I don't think Forster was at fault. I think I'd still start Forster in the semi-final, but it's just unlucky defending. I think I'll give Forster a 6 today. He didn't do anything bad. Obviously he conceded 3 goals, but you know, the goalkeeper's the last line of defence at the end of the day. The only reason the goalkeeper's got something to do is because the other 10 players have made a mistake. So yeah, it's a 6 for Fraser Forster. The back line, Ryan Bertrand, didn't see him, give him a 5. Vestergaard and Bednarak. Vestergaard, slow to react to everything. Like I said, I think they got their mind on other things. Conceded 3 goals, it's 5. The same for Bednarak. Bednarak a 5 as well. It's not good enough, gents. Like, step up. You know, it's the Premier League. And then Kyle Walker-Peters had that good opportunity, getting back to his old self, as I said a few episodes ago. I think I'll give Kyle Walker-Peters a 6. Nothing bad, nothing great. Theo Walcott, again, had a poor game, I'd say. He is influential to the young players, and, you know, he can show a lot and can give a lot. And he is a good player. But today, he wasn't as good as he was at Burnley, so I'll give him a 6. He played all right, but he should have done so much better. Ibrahima Diallo, where was he? But I'm glad he's getting this Premier League experience. So I'll give him a 5. It kind of felt like James Ward-Prowse in the middle on his own most of the time. James Ward-Prowse, unlucky to miss the penalty. I mean, it was a very good penalty, converted it very well. It's just very lucky that the keeper dived that way. Obviously done his homework. I'll give him a 6 as well. On the right-hand side, Stuart Armstrong, another catalyst for us. I think Stuart Armstrong has a great game every time he plays. He created so many opportunities for us to score. Stuart Armstrong had a great game. Unlucky not to get anything himself. He needs to be scoring more goals, you know. Otherwise, people look at his stats and not realise how much of a good player he is. But yeah, he just works so hard, man. I'll give him a 7. Probably our standout player today. Up front, Danny Ings and Nathan Redmond. Danny Ings, he was working hard a lot of the time. He kind of plays more like a false 9 than he does like a poacher. I think he'd work better as a poacher. That's why he would do so well in a Man City team, because that midfield would do all the work for him, and all he'd have to do is put the ball in the net. Whereas for Saints, he kind of has to track back into midfield and help create the chances for the wide men, or play it back into midfield and keep possession. You know, it's rare that he's got his face towards the opponent's goal. But otherwise, Danny Ings, I think I'll give him a 5. Just wasn't there. Nathan Redmond, unlucky not to get something from this. I think Redders is in red hot form at the moment. 3-3, I think he is at the moment. Obviously now 3-4, but you know, it's just another one of those days. We win some, we lose some. That's us. That's Southampton. Hopefully that will change soon, within my lifetime, I hope. But yeah, I expect something so much better on Sunday, and I give Nathan Redmond a 6. The subs, Che Adams, Nathan Teller and Moussa Djenepo. Moussa Djenepo won the penalty. I think he should have come on a lot earlier for Walcott. I'll give him a 7. Nathan Teller, I mean, he was playing so well, and then was just, as soon as Walcott came back, he just dropped off, and we never saw him. When he does play from the start, he really can make a difference. But today, he was non-existent when he came on, obviously because he only had like 10 minutes to play. But I'll give him a 6. And Che Adams had that chance right at the end, could have finished it, but Sam Johnson just got a hand to it and it just took the whiskers off the post. But yeah, like I said, Che Adams is good. He needs to be starting up top. Che Adams, a 6. Otherwise, Saints fans, that's it. Like I said, the only thing to take away from this is that Leicester lost as well. So both going into it the same mindset. But yeah, let's hope and pray, fingers crossed for Sunday, that we can get something against these guys. And anything can happen at Wembley. There's nothing holding us back from getting a result. We can always do a job. Just look at our previous results. You know, we can beat Liverpool, we can beat City, we can beat Arsenal. Let's see if we can just beat Leicester one more time. That's all we need to do. But anyway, Saints fans, this has been Cammy saying thank you for listening, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you on Sunday. Let's make it a Sunday to remember. Come on, you Reds.